Griff, what kind of shape are the Ospreys in, after a fortnight on, if you like, from that win over Leinster?
Yeah, healthy, you'd like to think, and our run of form, certainly in the league, is something to be reasonably satisfied with, but we know all it's done is set us up for the rest of the year, but glad to do so in terms of the position we're in, though we can obviously have a big game against Connacht. It's a huge one for them in the context of the chase for Europe, but also for us in terms of keep looking upwards as well. And obviously the form we showed in Leinster, off the back of the non-international group picking up that great result against the Cheetahs, the internationals coming back really motivated, healthy, mentally charged to go for the Ospreys. Is a bit of energy around the place for the last block of work.
How do you begin to replace Justin Timberlake, after his performance against Leinster?
Yeah, he showed what a quality performer he is, both sides of the ball, and obviously we used him in the right manner. We got width on the game, he was part of that, and his ball carrying in the middle of the park as well. Nice little inside option from Biggs. Led was perfect in the build up to one of our scores. But as I said, we've said before, he goes with our blessing. It's something he really wanted to do, and we wanted to support that, and we want to back others in the fold. Sam Cross in particular. He's had a strange old year, but I think we're seeing that transition now to a full 15-a-side player. We're seeing some stuff behind the scenes that leads me to believe, certainly offensively, there's a guy that we can really work with and he can flourish as an Osprey in the future.
Dan Evans is now up to 10 tries this season and starting to hit some form as well. Do you believe he'll ever play for Wales again?
I don't know, I haven't really got the crystal ball really, but I think we've seen with Dan, not just 10 this year, 10 last year as well. He picks up regular stream of tries. When he picks up one, he tends to get the bit between his teeth for the second. And we've seen that in the European games this year. That once we start to get the momentum in the game from other sources as well, and when we're on the front foot, he really sort of has that motivation then to get in some good positions and get on the end of things. So that's a strength of his, and I think he could certainly transfer that to the international game. There's other parts of the game that he's got to keep working on. He knows the work around the contact area and being consistent week in, week out. But in terms of what I've just said there as an Osprey, and what people don't see is how proud he is to represent the Ospreys. He sees games like the Leinster game as test match footy for him, and I think if he keeps having that mindset, regardless of who we play, the competition, the context, he can do little more. With
George North, the Scarlets have ruled themselves out this morning. Are the Ospreys in the running for North or not?
I generally wouldn't know. I haven't been involved in any stories behind the scenes or recruitment for some time now, and for obvious reasons, and I wouldn't know on this one.
It's Dan Biggers, potentially Dan's final home game for the Ospreys this week. Could you say a few words about him, the kind of player he's been?
We shared a few words on text last night, which you get quite emotional about, because I've built up such a rapport and knowing him since he was 15 years, but just the amount of respect and pride I've got in how he's grown to be such a top quality professional player, an elite rugby player, but also how he's matured as a man as well is just something that's been gratifying to see. And I really hope supporters, not just for Dan, but there's a few others also on that park on Friday, with potentially it's their last home game, really get behind those type of players, because he's put in so much around the games people see, the points people see, but also behind the scenes. His diligence is an example, I think, to any young player coming through, how he's pushed himself to be bigger and better, but also in terms of the Ospreys, pushing others to constantly be the best they can be, and at the forefront of some continued high performance over a number of years.
Are you hoping that Rees Webb will put an appearance on Friday night, perhaps, for a send-off?
Yeah, we've got a thing at the end of the game where traditionally we get the players back out there just to see the fans and be a part of things together, and that's what we are as Ospreys. And I'm sure I'll speak to Rees, he'll want to be there. He's also proud, as we all have, what he's achieved. And I hope supporters can come out and support that, because these fellas really deserve that for what they've put in, their commitment, efforts, and the rapport they've got with the fans as well, and how much it means to them.
Griff, your own future, is anything sorted, or is it an ongoing sort of project?
Yeah, it's an ongoing project. Yeah, there's been a few little discussions here and there, and there's a few different opportunities that may be there, and also some non-rugby interests that are pretty appealing. Probably more so after the back of the last 12 months. But I'm really supercharged and energetic as a coach. I'm enthusiastic about what we're doing here, what we've done here, and I'll keep pursuing certain opportunities.
What are you expecting of Connacht?
Always the sides I enjoy watching. I think obviously Pat Lam put a certain template in. Kieran Keane is tweaking that, but he's a quality coach and he's got some quality coaches around him. In terms of Nigel there, Jimmy, and Peter the defence guy. So they're quite a well-rounded group, and they've got good firepower on the field. Again, I like seeing Bundyaki, Tom Farrell's been one of the finds of the season in midfield for them, and real pace in Healy, O'Halloran, and Adalukin in the back three. So threatening whilst having a pair of half-backs who constantly ask questions around the fringes, but with some smart kicking options as well. And a pack with someone like Muldoon to the fore, and I hope the crowd can give him a good welcome, because obviously his last visit to Liberty, and we've had some real battles over the years with him and some of his Connacht teammates in the pack. But they can also revert to a good physical game when needs be, good players over the ball, and a good set piece. And I think they're evolving probably into a different sort of type of rugby, but one that's got real quality written all over it. And our thing is we've got to match the levels that we performed to against Leinster. We talk about trying to bring some test match intensity to it. We can't allow that to drop off. We're only as good as our next game, and this Connacht game is a huge one for us. In terms of our battle with them, but also to try and set ourselves up.
Are you hoping for a big crowd to sort of see off Dan, Rees, Ashley Beck, people like that?
I really hope so. I think in terms of, as I said, recent games in the Liberty where you feel we've made a couple of little tweaks here and there. We've obviously got manpower up front, which can cause some size problems, give us momentum, and we want to produce some good rugby as well in terms of the brand we're trying to play, which hopefully will bring people out. But also, like you said, the players that are on the field, hopefully people can come out and give them the send-off they deserve.
And it's your last home game as well. So what do the Ospreys mean to you?
A huge amount. I've talked briefly there about my relationship with individual players, but I'll probably associate landmarks in my life in terms of my children growing up as kids. Now I'll always associate that with my time as the Ospreys, and that's the way my professional and personal sort of lives are sort of intertwined. And so it does mean so much. Probably because I came through a coaching pathway here, working with players who went on to go so well for the Ospreys for a number of years, but also just the sort of people you work with, and I'm sure I'll miss that. I go for the right reasons, but it's not to say it won't be difficult and emotional Friday night, and for the remaining games as well, looking at different landmarks and different away games.
What's the injury position, Griff? You got any people coming back or people being ruled out? Cracknell
is someone we've got to keep monitoring. He won't be available for a week or so around the shoulder, which forced him off. But other than that, we're picking from a similar squad that we were last time around.
Have you got the cover in the back row, without Justin and so many others?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty comfortable. Rob McCusker's come in and played good European rugby for us this year. We're really enthused by the way Morgan Morris is developing. The Anglo-Welsh games this year have been some real great experience for him. For me, another potential ball carrier who could do well in the pro game, and I think the Welsh game in general needs ball carriers. He's still developing some physical parts to his game and the subtleties around the running lines that we look at around his work, but he's someone who could well be involved the next couple of weeks, and we want to again back people like himself. Mercer's been a fantastic pro, has played a lot of top quality rugby games in the Aviva and for us now, so there's enough in the bank for us at the moment.